with the Russians. So they came to the United States. There's a group of them, probably 35 or so. I drove the big, I think it's a 16 passenger van at 21 years old to Washington, D.C. with my group of folks, and we picked up the Russians. We had multiple vans. We took them downtown DC and showed them the monuments and a lot of the stuff in the city. And then there's a national park just outside of DC. And so we camped there for multiple days and did some activities and things. And then we went back to the mountains of Virginia, and all of the Russian people got to, they had the same thing that we did. They were teachers, students, and scientists. And so they all got placed with families, kind of another exchange situation. So they got to see what it was like to live in an American family. So that was cool. And then we did a 7 or 8 day trip across the entire Smoky Mountain National Park. And that's why I first came in, because I got chosen to be a hike host, the guide. So they had to break up there were so many of us, 35 Russians, 35 Americans, that's a lot of people who tramped through the woods. So we were in groups of 7 or 8, and it was me and another woman who was probably in her 40s, and we got all Russian men, and they were not at all super excited at first that the girls were going to be leading them through the woods, but they came around quick. It was fun. We got rained, and we were dirty and muddy, but man, we made the best of it. And we hiked all the way from Tennessee to North Carolina, and then ended up at Fontana Dam so we could get in and take a bath in the lake. So then there was a few weeks in the middle, and then the big group of us went to Russia, and we got to do the same thing. We got to stay with a Russian family, see what it was like. We were right in Moscow, and so I got to see what apartment complexes were like. We got to go over and see where they had done the Winter Olympics with the big ski jump was still assembled. I got to go to Moscow University. We did some things with their scientists and their teachers, and then we did some really big backpacking trips over there too. And the amazing thing was, if you look geographically where your latitude lines go, we match up pretty close to from where we lived to over there. So you get there, and once you're in the woods, you don't know what country you're in. The trees looked similar. We were on a beautiful lake. We were camping. We were talking about our gear and their gear, and they made so much of their own stuff. That was super cool. They were really into recycling and reusing and reducing in 1991 because they had to. So we were able to see this in great detail of what could be done if people really took the time to do it. And America kind of caught up. But so that was an amazing summer. And then I came back. I had like 1 minute to get up to college and get back to classes. But it was a great summer, and it was one of those moments where you look at this group of folks, this demonized group. At the time, Cold War era Russians, they're bad. They're the enemy. They're everything. They're everything that's wrong with America, wrong with the world. And then we get there and we do all the same things. We tell all the same stories. We had some language barriers and some of the little things like that are different. And of course, they had different ways of life with certain stuff. But the commonality in humans, it was that moment at 21 years old that the light bulb came on that everybody is the same. And it was a great lesson to learn.